Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Video Games. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, 2025, Sandfall Interactive. Clair Obscur is a turn-based action RPG game. Taking place in a city known as Lumiere, the player takes control of a group of people known as expeditioners. After a yearly occurrence known as the Gamage, where people disintegrate out of existence, the expeditioners, those left under the age of 33, must travel out of the city and attempt to stop a godly being known as the Paintress from killing humanity. When Expedition 33 arrives on the ruined continent they live on, their group is ambushed and separated in the chaos. Now on their own, each expeditioner must find their way back to the group and continue their mission. Or die trying. This was the talk of the gaming town, the 2025 Game of the Year. Clair Obscur was a game that I had to check it out and see what was what with. Guys, I think the Game Awards actually got something right for once. Holy hell, what a fucking game. Clair Obscur is obviously inspired by the JRPGs this team was probably raised on. You know, like your Final Fantasy, your Chrono Trigger, that sort of shit. But Clair Obscur is unlike any turn-based RPG you will ever play. In most other turn-based RPG games, during an enemy turn you are beholden to the RNG gods and have no real control over what you can do unless you prepared for it ahead of time. In this game, the player is an active participant throughout combat. During an enemy turn, the player can dodge and parry attacks, taking full control of the situation. The characters you play as all have unique abilities, and like any turn-based RPG, can be used to make enemy turns easier to get through, and make your own attacks stronger. My favorite team consisted of Lune, Ciel, and Mael, a wizard and two warriors whose attacks buffed each other, along with spells and powers that healed and revived each other, requiring timing, skill,
finesse, and grace.
The combat in this game is beyond satisfying. When you are able to see the rhythm of an attack pattern an enemy lays on you, and you are hitting R1 or RB or whatever button on your controller to avoid or block these attacks, whatever. Unleashing a big counter if you nail it, it just goes so hard. This is especially satisfying when enemies start having erratic and complicated rhythms to their attacks. Some of these bosses, especially the big ones, have attacks that last long and can come at weird intervals. The bosses also have multiple stages, so you better fucking hope you have good health and have potions and spells ready before going into it. I played on normal difficulty, and even if you are properly leveled or over-leveled for a situation, sloppiness is punished. Even enemies you outgun can fuck your shit up if you mess up a dodge or a parry. It might honestly be an example of a perfectly balanced game in terms of difficulty. On top of fighting enemies, you have a big open world to explore. The main story doesn't take too long to get through, so you are often encouraged to explore the continent. This is a smart idea because exploring the area will net you with secret bosses, loot, weapons, and all sorts of things that will aid you in your journey. While you can ignore side stuff for the first two acts of the game, it becomes rather imperative that you grind before the last bosses of the game. My main squad was level 50 before fighting the final boss, but I imagine if you master parrying and dodging, you could get through it at a lower level. Again, it's a testament to how well balanced the game is that it doesn't necessarily require you to grind, but it still actively rewards you for doing so. This game is just fun to play, but it is beyond mesmerizing to look at and listen to. Visually, Sandfall Interactive took Unreal Engine 5 and pushed it hard. Even if in-game talking animations aren't completely seamless, you have to squint to see the imperfection. The character models are all dynamically animated, with even combat animations being these grandiose and visually fluid moments. I have said it before, but I firmly believe that Unreal Engine 5 is a force to be reckoned with in the right hands. But while this game's visuals are impressive from a technical standpoint, it is an aesthetic marvel, and that is one of the reasons why I love the game. The world of this game is this surreal hodgepodge of broken landscapes floating in the cosmos. Cities crumbling into each other, oceans that you can walk through without needing air, palaces of gold, forests where the leaves are all different colors. It is beyond imaginative. When the game decides to get super surreal, you're stuck floating in cosmic voids of stars and swirling hues, at times looking like paint, but we'll get there in a minute. The characters all have distinct looks as well. That's one area where the JRPG influences shines, because these outfits and characters can be super anime. Gustav and Verso, with robot arm and eye scar respectively, are about as male anime protagonist as you can get. On top of that, every character has all sorts of costumes and hairstyles you can choose from, so you can make them look as nice or as dorky as you want. Oh my god though, it's the cinematography in this game that just gets me going. Cutscenes and even in-game moments will make use of aspect ratio changes, desaturation, trippy lighting, etc. The moment I saw a cutscene go from widescreen to 4:3, or maybe actually 1:1, I'm not quite sure. Like, I knew this game was like Kino. Add to that choice is really, really purposeful. Every cutscene in this game is just a tour de force in terms of filmmaking. In-game moments will often go from black and white to color quite often, and it is rare that you see those sorts of visual choices for moments that happen in-game. It is a unique style that this game has, but like, I shudder to think, with talks of a movie in the works, how any major studio would let a director get away with some of these visual choices. The name of Lorien Testard. This name is a name you should become familiar with, because the music this man composed for this game is fucking magical. Much like Final Fantasy, one of the games that influenced this most likely, the score for Expedition 33 is a genre melting pot. Its primary arrangement style is that of pianos and strings and beautiful choir vocals. When you hover over the game icon in the PS5 menu, or if you're in the main menu of the game, the main theme is this piano ballad with a soaring opera singer singing in French over top. The gamage scene is all the more impactful because of the music, with pianos and choirs underscoring the weight of the moment. It turns key moments of this game into a grand, blustery opera, which it kinda already is, but the music just seals the deal. But the score will change genres so much you often forget that this is primarily a symphonic sort of score. The water level is straight up trip hop. The gestural village dabbles in like Latin-esque acoustic guitar music. And then there are straight up metal songs in the score. During the fight with the big mask guy, he's called an Axon or something, the cutscene of this section features a rock rendition of the music you heard during the battle. As it swells, the drums go straight fucking 4 on the floor, and it fucking rips. The battle music for the last 2 times you fight Renoir is just straight up power metal balladry. Not only would I listen to this score independent of the game, like, I would see this shit performed live. It goes so hard. Oh my god, all this amazing stuff, and we have yet to talk about the writing. The script for this game does Final Fantasy better than fucking Final Fantasy. It's a big, wondrous fantasy world full of cool creatures, a grand plot full of twists and turns, and ever-changing character dynamics, dialogue that is full of jargon but does not feel condescending or overwritten, a subtext that covers heavy themes such as the horrors of war and the heartbreaking grief suffered from losing a child. The script for this game starts as this beautiful story about people being forced to experience the cost of warfare. The scene when you land on the continent beach and encounter Renoir for the first time, like, it's straight up the storming of Normandy from Saving Private Ryan. Then after that, Gustav is about to blow his brains out while sitting on a pile of corpses. Maëlle, a straight up child soldier, then has to experience loss and violence, the battle for the future of mankind stealing a girl's innocence. However, after the plot twist, we see that this war is only one layer. The lives of Gustav, Maëlle, and all the others are creations of Renoir and his family in the real world. paintings come to life. The paintress is a grieving mother and Renoir the grieving father, both incapable in their own way of moving on after their son Verso died in the house fire. Maëlle is Alicia, Renoir's daughter that is blamed for Verso's death and uses the paintings and the world inside as a means of escape. The ending of this game leaves us a choice. Destroy the painting or leave it. In a way, choosing to move on from the past or wallowing in it. I chose to keep the painting, and after killing Verso, a creation of the paintress, we see what seems like an initially happy ending of Maëlle and her friends, including Gustave attending a concert. As the screen goes to a tighter aspect ratio and changes to black and white, the pianist playing stops and looks out at the audience. Cut to Maëlle, her scarred face from the real world, forming over top her current face before we smash the credits. The painting is nothing but a fantasy, and the truth is much, much uglier. This is, of course, one of a few endings, and I look forward to seeing what those are like on a second playthrough. I played this game with the English voice cast, and all these cats were just crushing this material. A couple heavy hitters joined this cast as well. First, we have the great Charlie Cox, motherfucking Daredevil as Gustave. He gives a very commanding performance as he manages to add more subtlety to the blustery writing. His death scene was just like top tier acting, really well presented. The other heavy hitter is the one and only Andy Serkis voicing Renoir. At first this intimidating and cold villain, Serkis nails the transition from supervillain to mournful dad so seamlessly. In an award-winning performance, Jennifer English voices Maëlle, and I think she is the true standout. English also brings such subtlety to this blustery script, but even more so. Those moments after Gustave's death are heartbreaking because of how quiet she can be, having fear and grief overwhelming her into silence. Like this whole cast, my god, they just crush it, and those are just a few examples. This game pretty much dominated the Game Awards in 2025, coming as close as any game has to pulling a Return of the King Oscars sweep. While the Game Awards mean like absolutely nothing, much like the Oscars, sometimes these awards shows are forced to recognize an actual good thing. Winning 9 of its 13 nominations, Clair Obscur is a game that has lived up to the hype and then some. The result of a Ubisoft outcast who got bored of making slop and decided to start their own studio and follow their own vision. Their vision? Unique, ambitious, and executed above and beyond what anyone would expect from a debut game. Replayable, thoughtful, beautiful. It is everything that gaming should be and then some. In a word, masterpiece. Play this fucking game. And you know what it is. 10 out of 10. Catch you later, guys.